Hello everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be revisiting Convex. Now, if you're not familiar with Convex, what it essentially does is it boosts yields on Curve. If you're looking for an intro into the Convex platform, I will link a video in the top right where I go over the Curve wars, and I of course talk a lot about Convex. But this video is not going to be an overview of the platform, it's going to be about how to get the highest yield on the CVX token, which is of course the Convex token. Now, before going over the best yields for the CVX token, I think it's fun to point out that I actually covered Convex Finance back in June 1st of 2021, and a lot has changed since then. So since then, you can see here that Convex has attracted $20 billion of TVL and has accrued $650 million of revenue, and it's one of the largest DeFi platforms around right now. Convex has pretty much taken the spot for the highest risk-adjusted yields in crypto, so Convex is a very trusted platform, and they offer some of the best yields that you can find in a safe manner. So what's the best way to get a yield on the CVX token if you're bullish on the Convex platform? Well, in my view, there are really two good options here. So the first option is pretty straightforward, and if we scroll down here, we can see there's a Convex ETH Curve pool, and this pair is actually paying out 53% right now in Convex and Curve tokens. Now, what I think is really attractive about this pair is you can get a good yield on Convex here and kind of dampen the volatility of the Convex token. So if you're in this LP and Convex goes down 50%, your position's only going to be down about 25%, which is not great, but it's better than being down 50%, of course. Now, in addition to that, you're getting a pretty high yield for providing this Convex ETH liquidity. Right now, it's about 53%. And if I click on that information tab here, you can see that about 13% of the yield is coming in Curve tokens and the other 38% is in Convex tokens. So you're going to be able to stack your Convex position with this pool. Now, what's nice about this pool here is you can see there's already $215 million of TVL in the pool. So what that tells me is one whale can't come in and dilute your yield. These yields are probably going to be more on the consistent side, and they're here to stay. Now, if you're interested in a single staking yield opportunity on Convex, your best bet here is to go to the Lock CVX tab. And you can see here they're advertising a APR of 3.7%, but it's actually much higher when you factor in bribes. I'll get into that in just a minute, but it is important to note that when you lock your CVX in this single-sided vault, your CVX is locked for 16 weeks and 6 days, so you're not able to sell it for that period of time. Now, as I go into in depth in my Curve Wars video, if you lock your CVX up, you're getting those bribes from other protocols that want you to vote to incentivize their underlying Curve LP pair. Now, you have a few options here, but I would recommend you delegate your Convex to Vodium, who will vote on your behalf. You can see here if I go to the regular vote page, it'll pull up Snapshot, and you can pull up the gauge weight vote for January 6th. And you can see that if you wanted to participate in this manually, you'd have to manually pick which protocols to vote for, and you'd have to optimize to get the highest yield for yourself, and it's just a waste of time. Instead of doing that, you can go to an app called Vodium, which I will link below, and you can actually delegate all of your voting power to Vodium. Vodium is going to basically use your locked Convex to vote for the highest return for you. So if all you want to do is maximize your return, your best bet is Vodium. So you're probably wondering, well, we get that 4% from locking up the Convex, but what additional yield do I get from bribes? I will of course link this below, but with this website, Llama Airforce, you're actually able to check what historical rounds looked like as far as bribes went, so you can kind of calculate an APR. So what I did is I averaged out the yield you got from bribes in the last 2 rounds, and right now it's about a 40% APR on the Convex token. So in addition to the other Convex incentives, we're looking at about 45% on just single staking Convex. Now, this is great, but there is one slight drawback in that it's very gas inefficient. So if I click on the rounds tab here, you can see that rewards are actually paid out in a bunch of different random project governance tokens. So you can see there's FXS rewards, there's Luna rewards, there's Convex rewards, Spell rewards, etc. Now, up until recently, this was somewhat of a big problem. Of course, some of these governance tokens you might be happy to hold, but others you just want to sell off to ETH or compound into your position or whatever it is. So if you weren't a huge whale in these pools, this would be pretty gas intensive and probably not worth it right now. But fortunately, a new solution has emerged which basically auto-sells your rewards and compounds them into the Convex Curve token, which is also earning a yield. So I'll link this thread that basically explains it all, but that website, Llama Airforce, came out with a new product called the Union. So as you can see in this explainer, it's actually quite simple. Basically, you forward your bribe rewards to the Union, they collectively claim them, and then swap all of them for Convex Curve and put it in an autocompounder, and then they airdrop you a claim to that autocompounder asset. For the full details, check out the thread, but I wanted to show you what this looked like. So Basically, we're on the Llama Airforce website again on the Union tab, and you can simply just join the Union here, which will direct your locked Convex rewards to the Union. Now, the good news is you can still be delegated to Vodium here, so you're still maximizing your rewards. They just all get sent to this Union that auto sells the rewards for you and compounds them into the Curve token. So if we click here, they call it pounders, and you can see that you'll essentially get a share of this large Curve pool that itself is earning a 60% APY. So you don't actually have to claim your Curve tokens from this reward pool. You can just let it sit there and it's already earning a pretty high yield. Now, in my opinion, if you're bullish the Convex token and want exposure to Convex and Curve, this is probably the best option for a long-term hold. With this single staking option, you're basically getting this 4%, call it, bonus from locking your Convex. You're getting about a 40% yield in rewards tokens, and then all of your rewards tokens are earning a 60% APY on top of that. Now, of course, you're taking on exposure to Convex, to Curve, and this Llama Airforce website, which would be the most risky of all of these three applications, so you have to consider if the reward is worth it. If you have a very large position size, possibly not, but if you're on the smaller side and you're okay with the smart contract risk of this autocompounder, then I think this is probably the best option to get a yield on Convex. Now, one last piece about Convex. It's really fascinating, in my opinion, to look at the data on Nansen surrounding Convex, just because if you go to notable wallets, you're going to see some of the biggest names in crypto and the biggest DAOs holding this token. Now, this is, of course, because if you control the Convex token, you control liquidity incentives on Curve, which is very valuable for different DAOs and projects. It's hard to track specific holders because most people have staked the Convex token, but one thing I did want to show you is that unique addresses for this token is skyrocketing, and you can see here that holders are generally in the long-term bucket. They hold the tokens for a longer duration. So that's all I have for you. I hope this was helpful and showed you how to get the highest yield on the Convex token in the easiest way possible. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe if you haven't yet. Now, with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.